Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Yeah, and a lot easier. I mean, doesn't that just sound like the peacemaking president, the peacemaker in chief, Nobel Peace Prize laureate? I mean, isn't that what it says? I mean, this is a guy that said, I want to be known for the wars I don't start. Now, whether this does start a war is not going to depend on us, because that power to determine left his hands when he gave the order to launch the button to send all those missiles down range. It's up to the Iranian side right now. Maybe they respond, maybe they don't, but it will only be because we're lucky, because they in their own calculations say that it's still in our interest not to go to war with the United States and not to respond in kind. So we'll see where that ends up going. That show is far from over. I think Colonel Doug McGregor, while I've been here in the UK, had a show on where he says it ain't over yet. So we'll see what happens. I agree that this is far from over or decided. We'll see how it works out. But if it doesn't end to war, it's only going to be because what someone else chose not to do, not because of our actions, because our actions historically have been black and white, flat out an act of war. You attacked another country, you destroyed their military capacity, or at least you attacked it, flat out, period. That's an act of war. No one can claim otherwise. What people do claim otherwise, though, is that, yeah, but it doesn't matter, because we're the United States and we decided they can't have a nuclear weapon. And that's where the conversation stops for them right there. They say, no, we gave them a chance. I don't know how many times I saw this on so-called experts on almost all these different networks saying, yeah, Trump gave him 60 days, man. He bragged about it himself. And then on day 61, here comes the Israeli attack. And then now here comes our attack on the 21st, I guess, of June. There is no law on the planet that says that any other powerful country can just decide on its own what another country can or can't do, and then say either you get rid of this capacity because I don't like it, even though you don't actually have a bomb capacity, you don't actually have a bomb network, but just get rid of it, or I'm going to come kill you. And then they take action on that and do try to destroy it. There is no law on the planet that does that. There's nothing in the UN Charter, there's nothing in the United States Constitution, and there's nothing in United States law, the 1973 War Powers Act. And so I've heard all kinds of pundits who love this on the United States side, Mark Levin being one of the chief. They'll just dismiss it left and right, say, oh, that doesn't apply, whatever, because you don't want it to apply. I've also heard some folks say, oh, yeah, but see, the 1973 War Powers Act does give the president 60 days to go do. No, it doesn't. You only say that because that's what you hear repeated on the news. But if you actually read the damn thing, you'll see that it says no such thing. The only place that 60 days even comes into conflict is that if you have to use force on the only three agreed reasons, the only three authorized reasons, then you have 60 days to report and all that other stuff. The reporting thing does exist, but it is absolutely crucial to understand that the law says that the president can only use military power if the U.S. is attacked, or its military is attacked, U.S. or its military is attacked, whether the Congress has declared war or the Congress has given specific statutory authorization, i.e. an AUMF, et cetera, like they did in 2003. Now, I think that would be bad, but that's how if you want to follow the law, that's where you got to go. None of those things existed. No congressional authorization. Iran didn't attack anybody. We attacked them. So that is a direct and total violation of law. It's a total violation of the UN Charter that we're signatories to. It's a violation of the NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which we're also a signatory to. We don't care about any of that stuff. That is not the act of a peacemaker in chief. That is not the act of somebody who wants to be known as a peace president, who doesn't want to start wars. He has literally done the thing that he told us all during the whole 2024 campaign season that he did not want to do, and why he warned us so many times. Trump and many of his campaign allies warned us that voting for Kamala Harris is a vote for war, but voting for Trump is a vote for peace. That's what we were told so many times. And yet, those words were important if they were acted on, but they're not acted on here. And again, you can be one of those that hates Iran, and I know there's a lot of people that do, but what you can't do is you can't say and twist it and manipulate it into something that violates, that doesn't violate U.S. law, international law, or the U.S. Constitution, which you claim to want to uphold, which you claim that he's the defender of, and yet he has absolutely thrown it in the trash and just doesn't care. There was no congressional authorization. There was no declaration of war per the U.S. Constitution. So ergo, no matter what, there is no justification for this, i.e., this is not the peacemaker in chief. Sorry, Caroline Levitt, but you're wrong. He's not. Your words to the contrary are irrelevant because his actions trump, pardon the pun, your claims. With his own actions, he forfeits everything he ran on and he undercuts everything you said. So all these people that keep going back over and over and saying all this stuff about how he's the peacemaker, he's not, because every chance he's had to get rid of the one war he inherited between Russia and Ukraine that we were supporting, and the not starting a new one against Iran, not getting this big, beautiful deal that he claimed since 2018, that by getting out of the previous nuclear deal that the Obama administration had started, now then he's forfeited all that too. So he's the one that set this in motion in 2018. He claimed he got out of it to get a better deal. When he had a chance to get a deal, he forfeited that too because he didn't want a deal. He had a chance to have a negotiated settlement. The Iranians signaled very clearly they were willing to negotiate on nearly everything except this issue of the reprocessing capacity. They're willing to constrain it significantly, get down to the 3.67, and they would require themselves to stay down there, i.e. for peaceful purposes, and to have the inspections, to have American inspections, all kinds of things they agreed to. But we added in a red line that said, no, it has to be zero. There's no validation for us to make that demand. You can want it, but you don't have the authority. You don't have the legal authority to compel it or to go try and kill them if they don't do it. That's the mark of someone who wants wars to happen. That is the mark of someone who may have started a war. And again, it will only be because someone else chose not to have it, chose not to start it because of our actions. We are absolutely open to that right now, and it may still come. I care about the truth. I care about what's right, and I care about the rule of law. I care about keeping us safe. I'm all for strong national defense. I am all for let's keeping us safe. Let's have a well-funded, a well-resourced, and a well-trained army, somebody that has got enough people in it to actually defend our borders, to defend ourselves against attack from any quarter that may come. That is crucial to me. I spent most of my adult lifetime in the military, fought in 4 combat deployments. I haven't backed off of that at all. I'm not a peacenik, or I'm not an anti-war guy, right? I'm not. I'm for sane foreign policy and a law-abiding country that defends our interests without unnecessarily antagonizing others and supporting wars that we should never support, that can't be won, so that the alleged side we're for is destroyed and killed. And whole generations of men wiped out, so that their future is going to be decades, multiple decades into the future before there's any chance to come in. That is shameful and will be an enduring blight on American government, not just this administration, but the previous one as well. I want to see some changes, and I am damn tired of the way things are going on right now. And then the words that we keep using, parroting, things that like the Constitution and peace and all this kind of stuff, when every action is the opposite. That's where we are, folks, and that's what you need to understand here. And we're going to continue being unintimidated and uncompromised to bring you the truth, even when it's unpleasant for a lot of good patriotic Americans, because there's a lot of people that believe in Trump and will hate to hear this message. I don't mean to make anybody upset. I'm sorry if it does make you upset, but you need the truth. And the words that your candidate is saying, and the words that the president that you voted for is saying, are not lined up with his actions. He could end the one war very quickly, and he could have definitely not started the second one, and yet his actions have done the opposite. We'll wait and see how it's going to work out. Thank you very much for being with us today, folks. We always appreciate you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you very soon on the Daniel Davis Deep Dive.